All right, so welcome back to tutorial 3032, right? So, right, so let's continue with the design in tutorial 31, I believe. Um, in tutorial 31, yeah, in tutorial 31, we left off with creating this bracket and we created this awesome reverse camera, which will show up very nicely on our when we render the whole thing. I use K-Shot for all my rendering. I'm not using the Solidworks rendering software Visualize because it's not as good as a K-Shot. So one thing I want to let you know that if you don't have Solidworks or if you don't have K-Shot, you know what to do. All right. So the first things first, I want to edit. I want to make this bracket a bit longer. Okay, so let's edit that bracket. Of course, I have to wait for Solid to work now because it's got some complex shapes. So I can't wait to finish these, finish the surfaces on this car so that we can make separately everything else and then we assemble everything in the assembly. Looks like we freeze, so I'll come back when I unfreeze. All right, so yes, I managed to unfreeze myself. All right, so let's jump into this bracket here, and I want to make that a bit longer. So let's go to extrude surface and go edit feature. Okay, and I want to make that a little bit longer, so let's make that 5. And 5, I think 5 is going to do us on this model here. Right, so 5 looks good. That's okay. Okay, so a few things I want to do is I want to determine some of the vents positions. So let's have a look at some of the pictures that I have here. So it's not this one. Let's see this one. Not this one. Not this one. Yeah, this one here, perfect. All right. So as we can see, our vents here are triangular shapes that almost flat on this top surface, and there's like a step downwards. And then here we have just the surface that is going in. All right. So I want to determine these points here on the top, and then obviously we're going to make this lower points here and the top, and then probably they are sticking out. They are sticking up a little bit. So let's have a look how much are they sticking out somewhere on some other pictures. If we can have a look. Right, so we can see here a little bit better. Now let's zoom in on this one. So it seems like it's either a triangular shape or a flat surface, or maybe a triangular shape. It comes in like this. However, on this picture, it looks like it is a triangular shape, but it's a different surface, and it's thus sticking up a little bit, just a little bit on this side here, but it's flat with this side. And okay, let's have a look inside the model and let's determine these points, where these points are ending up. Okay, let's close these ones, right? And then let's jump into the first display state here. Click on the top plane, normal to profile. And then obviously this one here, this angle here is where it flows in, and then this is one empty space. If we look at this picture again, so it flows in and creates that space, and then that. So the midpoints are between these sections here. So let's determine these points here. Let's grab a 3D sketch, and then let's grab a 3D point, and let's just drop this point, one of them here, one here, and that will flows into this section here. So it's one surface that flows down. Let's have a look at that. So it's just coming from that direction. It's coming down to here. So we're going to add a point on the lower section of this area, and then maybe create a 3D sketch to create the surface here first. Okay, so we want the lower section here, and it will come down from the top surface. So there's two lower points, one here and one here. Okay, so let's determine these as the distance between these two. So the inside section is higher up than the outside for obvious reasons. So the inside is starting from, I believe it's starting from here. Let's have a look at it again. It's starting from a bit lower, so it's probably starting from somewhere around there. All right, so let's add that point. Let's add that point about here, and then that point will be somewhere here, but on the lower section, of course. And we will add the 3D sketch on that. And then, of course, this is a top section of it. And then let's just determine these lower sections in this side. So there's going to be one here, one here, one here, and one here. Okay, and the top section is going to be probably the same as this one here, if we can see on that. Maybe we'll find a picture, but yes, that is on the top section. The top section is similar to this surface here. Okay, so let's get closer in on a model on a second view state here. And then let's have a look at that picture. Let me look at the picture again. That goes from there to there. Okay. All right. So from here, it's going from here to here. From there to that point straight. Something in that direction here, maybe in a curvature fashion. So let's drop one point over here. Somewhere here, maybe. Okay, and then white on the low edge, and then let's add a curvature from this point to that point there. Okay, let's get to the top of this thing, and then let's add the profile on that curvature, and that profile is going something like this. Okay, and then now exit the sketch, and then let's add a boundary surface and see what we get from that, from this line to this line here. And then let's see if we can add a tangency to that face. If it registers, so direction to vector, then no on that, and then select tangency to face, and not registered for us, and that created that surface that I was needing. And then of course we need to add something in this direction as well, maybe going to be a fillet. Let's press OK. So that created that area for us. And then let's go into the future tray and then bring back that 3D sketch, because we need those points. So show those points. Okay, so there is these ones on the bottom here, these ones on the top. Let's get to the top of this thing again. And we want some lines that are running across, and they want some lines that running inside that area. So let's bring in our second display state just to be sure. And then yeah, just the lower ones are running in that direction to that point, to that, from this edge to that edge. So let's add a 3D sketch. 3D sketch. Let's go with just a line, and let's go from this point up to this edge here. So that's one line, and let's add another line. Let's add an empty space. Let's add another line from this point to this line here, and then I want to make that a little bit straight. I want to add some more lines. This to this edge here. From this line to this edge. Okay, and then of course I want to get these lines from the top section here to this edge here. I want to be perpendicular. Okay, and another line. This point to this edge. So maybe we can move this line. No, there we are not. Just let's take these lines and delete these coincident, and then move it back and make sure that we are on this edge. Actually, we are, so we are looking good. Okay, let's jump over to the second display state. And let's go and connect these lines. Surfaces, boundary surface. And this line, press OK. And then this line, press OK. All right. And now I want to bring back those lines. So show. And then boundary surface from this line to this line. So that's one air vent. Of course, we can work on these vents some more afterwards. So from this line to this line here, and then boundary surface from this line here. Okay, so we stand the car up these vents looking pretty good. Alright, so now we just have to create another surface like this on this side here. So we're just gonna add two 3D points. To this sketch, 3D points. We're gonna add one about here and one down here. And then add a spline from this point to that point. Get to the top of that. And then we're just gonna pull that this direction. Okay, and then exit the sketch, and let's do our boundary surface from this edge to this edge here, and let's add the tangents to face direction to vector, say no on that, and then of course tangents to face, and that creates that awesome curvature for us. Press OK. Okay, now we can hide these sketches. All right, and hide the points as well. That's good. And then I want to add a fillet in between these lines. So let's go knit them. Let's knit this one with the bracket. This one here. And let's go and knit the bracket with these surfaces here. Oh, it's two different so let's knit these two together first. And let's knit these two together. All right, so let's try and add our fillet here. Let's try 0.5, 0.5, and see what that gives us in this small corner here. Did we not knit that together? So bracket and this one it is knit together. Let's see. I want to fillet this. Let's try 1 here, not 21. Let's try this corner here. Okay, let's try face fillet. So let's try this one. And then this one here. And I want this one to point in that direction. And then try and add 0.1, 0.1. Okay, so it's not adding our fillets on that one. Okay, we will work on that. For now, we leave it here. This bracket area and the errands area. However, there's one more thing we can do with that is we can close this up and then add a visual some visual frame or visual mesh underneath all of this, just for visual purposes, I guess. So let's go underneath this whole bracket thing, and let's do a fill surface, and let's choose all the outside edges of this bracket. Yeah, and then this one section in the front. Choose things. So let's do under surface between these two lines here. Or boundary surface and then a selection manager. Okay, that's one side. And then selection manager. Second side. And for direct tension, choose these two edges here. Okay, press OK on that. All right. So, and now we can add a mesh. So appearances. Tényleg? Jó van, dob. Okay. Plastic, rubber, glass, solids, light, fabric, cloth, carpet, organic. Maybe in miscellaneous 3D textures. And let's see these 3D textures here. Maybe there's a mesh in here. Not the mesh we're looking for. Studio materials. Let's go pattern. That's really miscellaneous, stone, organic, solid objects, rubber, plastic, wax, mesh. There you go. Here's a mesh, and then let's diamond mesh. Let's try diamond mesh on this surface. Oh, it's not doing much. All right, so instead, let's take off this diamond mesh, remove appearance, and then let's take this one here, copy appearance, and paste that onto that surface. Right, so I probably added to the whole thing. Let's get this one here, copy appearance, paste appearance. Oh, all right. So yeah, this is something that we can play with a little bit afterwards, but for now, we just leave it as is. Or we can, just to be more visual, on that one, plastic high glass. Let's choose black. There you go, it's so much more visible now. So copy that appearance. And paste onto these surfaces. Paste. Paste. Okay, so that looks good. Maybe we can add meshes later on in the, of course, in the rendering software when we get to that point. All right, so let's mirror over this whole thing over the front plane, and let's go bodies to mirror. Let's mirror the bottom section and this one and this one. It looks like that's everything. That's okay. And it's mirrored all our vents over. That's good. All right. So we're going to leave this tutorial here, and then I'm going to see you back in the next tutorial. And then remember, if you're just tuning into my channel, there's one more surface here. Let's just get that over as well. If you're just tuning into my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate that. It would help me a lot, and then inspires me to create more videos and then more tutorials. All right. Thank you very much for being with me in this tutorial, and see you in the next tutorial.